Yeah. Hi, this is Mark from City Lights, City Streets, and this is Wes James. Hi, Wes, how are you?
How you doing, Mark? Good
nice to see you, man. What are we going to do today?
We're up here at Little Pond, Morton Park. People from Plymouth know it as Little Pond because they lived here all their life. So we're going to watch these guys trout fish.
Trout fish? Ooh,
show people a little bit about trout fishing and show them how to do it.
Oh, trout fishing. Wow, that's good. Yeah. Why don't you, we'll surprise these guys, and they don't know we're here. We're going to surprise them.
All right.
And Wes, you hold that and talk while we go.
All right.
And you make sure the cord don't get that. And this, what show is this, Wes?
This is City Lights.
City Lights, City Streets, and I want to thank Wes James, the main man, for introducing my show. Thanks, Wes. He's a genuine human being, Wes James. I believe he was a Vietnam vet. And I would hope, Wes, that you're against this war. What for the war? And thanks, Wes James, for introducing my show, City Lights, City Streets, Trout Fishing in America. That's basically what I'm doing now, trout fishing in America. Putting a rod and reel into the brain of knowledge and pulling out a giant, precious fish so that we can all feast on that knowledgeable dish. And I want to thank Wes James again, that soulful human being. We should all have so much soul and goodness as Wesley James. Thanks again, Wes. Come on my show again, Wes, we need you. And this is Mark Lord, and this is City Lights, City Streets, and we're in beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it all began. And today is April 1st, 2003, in this 21st century. And I was supposed to go on my third day of water fast, but I stopped it yesterday on the 31st of March. I went on a water fast for the 30th of March, which was Sunday, the 31st of March, 2003, which was Sunday, then Monday was the 31st, and today is Tuesday, April 1st, and you're watching this at 8 p.m. And I'm Mark, and I had to stop my water fast, man, but my head is all clear now. Now I can go back to having a few drinks and a cigar, and I broke my fast by drinking some Mother Nature's fruit juice out of my juicer, and when I did 6 hours of that, I went down to Monte Cristo's Pizza in Manamet, Massachusetts, and saw Peter down there, and he gave me a special pizza. It's the best pizza. Go down there. Anytime you ever break a fast, Monte Cristo's Pizza is the best. And it's the last thing that I want to eat. If I was an executed prisoner, they'd say, Mark, what is your last meal? I said, call up Monte Cristo's in Plymouth, Massachusetts. We're making pizzas for over 40 years. I want to eat that. I want that on my taste buds when I see my maker. They probably got it in heaven. Monte Cristo's Pizza. Yeah, Monte Cristo's Pizza. Probably got it in heaven. And let me light my cigar. Hello, Henry. Hi, Henry. Henry's got a t-shirt for me. He says, Mark, I got a t-shirt for you. It's Bush dressed in a football uniform, throwing the ball. Thanks, Henry, wherever you are. Let me light my cigar now. Go get yourself a sandwich. I just want to say that there are 650,000 troops in Iraq. 650,000 coalition troops in Iraq. Now, my thing is this: if there are that many 650,000 troops in Iraq, why didn't we in the first place take 200,000 of them and make them UN inspectors to look for bombs of mass destruction? What if we had 200,000 military men trained in the search for bombs of mass destruction? They could have swept the countryside and they would have found out. They would have found those bombs of mass destruction. So why didn't we do that? Wasn't that an alternative? Why send in 650,000 men armed to the teeth, toes, and head to make a lot of innocent people dead when in fact they could have trained 200,000 of these men as UN inspectors and went in there and swept the countryside and looking for bombs of mass destruction. As it is now, they found none as of yet. Is this on? It's all about oil. It's all about the cobra and the coil.
And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets, and we're in beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Hopefully it'll stay that way. We're on 7 days a week now. Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 8 p.m. I hear you out there, you go get yourself a Monte Cristo's pizza right now. And we're on at Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Thursday at 10 p.m. and Friday at 10 p.m. and Saturday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 6 p.m. And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. Go get yourself some eats, like Monte Cristo's Pizza Delight Eats. They're right down here in Manamet, yeah. Right on State Road, right across from Luke's Liquors. Everyone knows where that is, especially Dr. Rushforth. Yeah, he buys the booze by the case. Have you ever seen him lately? He looks like he's gonna fall and hit his head. He's so drunk with power and alcohol. And that's why I went on a fast for 2 days to rid my body of alcohol and tobacco. And now I'm gonna have maybe one drink this week, and I'm gonna have one cigar. And today is April 1st, 2003 in this 21st century. They talk about the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention never protected anybody dead, folks. The Geneva Convention never protected the innocent. The Geneva Convention says it's against the Geneva Convention rules and laws of war to go out and assassinate Saddam Hussein. But Bush says if he was assassinated, then everything would be fine in Iraq. But the Geneva Convention says, no, you can't do that. The Geneva Convention says, go in there and bomb innocent people to get the man that you want. Does that make any sense? So the Geneva Convention is against the military going in there and taking out Saddam Hussein in an assassination attempt. But yet the Geneva Convention is against that. Oh, can't do that. But the Geneva Convention allows megaton bombs to drop on all of Iraq, killing thousands of innocent people, injuring thousands more, just to get one man. What for? The Geneva Convention's a joke. When you break an egg, there goes the yolk. It doesn't matter. It's a joke. In other words, war is war. So why didn't they send in an assassination squad to get that Humpty Dumpty that sat on the wall? Because it's about oil. Because it's about testing new bombs. Because it's about history. Because it's about royalty. Because it's about economic recovery for Bush and his cronies, the military makers. Rumsfeld's been in I don't know how many administrations as defense in one phase or another. Come on, get real, get me at pace. I'm not a trained seal. I'm the orange and the peel. I'm the real deal. All these other people that you see on TV, Hannity and Holmes. Who is Hannity and Holmes anyway? Who are those people? Do you know who they are? They're news guys. You know, you gotta remember that there are thousands of innocent people that are dying in Iraq, and they're not reporting on it. Get real. And Peter Arnett, news reporter, who's been studying the Iraqi situation for 10 years, made a statement that said that the Iraqis are holding their own, and NBC fires them for telling the truth. NBC fires them for reporting the news the way he sees it. He's there. That ain't freedom of speech, man. That ain't freedom of the press, man. During the Iraqi war 12 years ago, CNN News had 10 Secret Service government officials on the staff of CNN News. And CNN News said that they didn't know that they were there. And CNN News says, and the FBI and the secret agents who worked for CNN News at that time secretly said, oh, we had nothing to do with the war. We didn't change the news in any way. Get real. They're propagandists. They're fascists. Get real. Your vote doesn't count. Your belief doesn't count. When are you going to wake up and smell the roses? Since 1776, politics has been just bulldozing us over and destroying our green environmental clover. Oh sure, they're the ones that live in the rich houses in Dover, while we have to eke out a living. And every day is a war. Every day for us, mortgages, car payments, high electric bills, generated by deadly nuclear waste. Nuclear waste that has to be monitored for 50,000 years with taxpayers' money. Constantly and persistently a threat to the American public. I dare say, my American comrades, that is an energy source that is not cost efficient. Get real. Why I'm like my cigar, go get yourself a sandwich or something. And any of you government officials out there that are satiated with the bloodthirst of war, go get yourself an Iraqi child and cook him and eat him. Because that's basically what you're doing to those people out there. And not only that, you're creating a disruption in the Mideast. You're going to be creating world wars, but what do they care? They got their bunkers, all the government officials. All of Congress has their bunkers. When the anthrax thing went through the Capitol building, all the congressmen, oh, they all got Cipro, the antibiotic that protects them from dying from anthrax. But they forgot about the postal workers that died, 6 or 7 of them. Who cares about them? They just push mail. They are just the wind in the sail of this bureaucracy boat we call the Bush SS, which is bull you know what. Support the troops. I support the troops, yes. A lot of those troops were signed up a year ago or 2 years ago under the pretense that they were going to get these huge college reimbursements and stuff. That's why they went. That's why they signed up. They were talked into it by these military people that knew very well the war was coming down the pike. Yikes. We're on Monday night, 8 o'clock, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, Thursday night at 10 o'clock, Friday night at 10 o'clock. I'm telling you, I'm a wreck about Iraq. I'm a wreck about Iraq, I'm telling you. Did you ever eat at Sandy's in Plymouth? I have, it's good. You should come down. We're going to be doing some shows down here at Sandy's right over here. We're going to be doing some shows at Sandy's, yeah. Am I a little crooked? I think the government's a little crooked. A little, a lot. And this is Mark. And this is City Lights, City Streets. And I think the government is crooked. A lot. Trent. And Daschle. We got to get a movement together, folks. We got to bring back power to the people, man. We got to make things equal all over again. Like I said, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, they're building a statue of Abraham Lincoln in West Virginia. And the West Virginian Southerners are saying that's like building a statue of Hitler in Israel, because the Southerners believe that Lincoln was an evil person because he freed the slaves. So in this country, if we have a large majority of the American public that believe that Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest presidents that we have ever known, is evil and as evil as Hitler, then I dare say, you really think that those people who believe that actually believe Bush when he says he's trying to free the Iraqi people, Arabs? You really think that these Southerners who believe that Lincoln was a Hitler, you really believe they believe the line that Bush says that we're over there to free the Arab people, the Iraqi people, when those Southerners could care less about the American black people? Is this on? Is it? And it's the same darn Southerners that the ones that are singing those patriotic songs. I'm proud to be an American, for at least I can be free. Except the blacks, because Lincoln was Hitler. Is this on? Try liberating our own people, Mr. Bush. Try bringing equality to the schools. Try bringing equality in education. Try bringing equality into the races. Is this on? Bush only has one face. And it's not even a poker face. It's a cocaine-addicted face. Power-hungry, greedy son of a you-know-what. Royalty! They don't even have any proof that Saddam Hussein was the problem. Is this on? Yeah, I like that though, that comparison between that Lincoln was a Hitler and the Southerners believe this. But yet, the Southerners somehow believe Bush when he says, we're in Iraq to free the Arab people. The Iraqi people. Now the Southerners, I think, got hit in the head. I think there's a little bit too much interbreeding going on, don't you? Oh, did I mention too that they not only don't like the blacks, they don't like the Jew. Southerners thinking that Lincoln was Hitler. Can you believe that? And not only that, listen to this about the American Indian, the Native American Indian. I think in Cheyenne or Wyoming or something, they want to build a statue of General Custer. You know that jerk that slaughtered American Indians? The children, raped them, cut their hands off, tortured them. You know that Custer? Yeah, the one, the coward that was working for the American military and slaughtered the Indians. They want to build a friggin' statue to him. Now there's something that shouldn't be built. Now there's something like Hitler. And this is Mark. And this is City Lights, City Streets. I went on a 2-day water fast. Thought I was going to go 7. Things aren't on the level here. They're going to make them on the level right now. Let's see the ocean. I probably drank that much water. I feel like a water otter. Am I getting to you yet? Today is April 1st, 2003 in this 21st century. And today is Tuesday. I don't even know if this is in focus. It's so darn cold out here. April 1st, 2003 in the 21st century. So I've been watching the war news, you know. It's so much fun to watch people get blown to bits. I love it. I can just see all the American troops that are out there, which I feel sorry for them being out there because I think they're misled. They're misled. What if there was a war and no one showed up? And remember the point I just said that if they sent in, they have 650,000 total troops out there, 650,000 or more. If they had trained, if Bush had trained 200,000 troops to do weapons inspections, they could have swept the countryside and then find the weapons of mass destruction and get rid of them. They didn't have to bomb innocent people. But the Geneva Convention says you can't go in there and just strike Saddam Hussein with one bullet to the head. That's against the rules of war. But the Geneva Conventions allow them to drop megaton bombs on whole villages to try to get the scallywag. Is this on? Isn't this a lot of crap, this Geneva Convention stuff? And politicians love to slap that on us whenever they can. Oh, the Iraqis, oh, they're doing things against the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention doesn't mean squat, man. Especially when it says you cannot take out one man, one leader with one bullet. You have to go in there and destroy all the land. That's how we want it done. That's more fun. That's an F word we can do without fun. Freedom of speech, man. See, I'm just a small person. But with you behind me, we can make history, man. You know, they said the Wright brothers couldn't fly. People were wrong. They said that heart transplants would never be done. They were wrong. They said that polio would never be cured. They were wrong. They said leprosy would never be cured. They were wrong. They say that there'll never be world peace. Well, I got news for you. I believe they're wrong, but we have to sing the Peace Train song, man. Bread, not bombs. Or pizza, anyway. Go down to Monte Cristo's, and I bet you we could have world peace if we gave everybody a Monte Cristo's pizza. Yeah. Like we'd give the Jewish people a gefilte fish pizza. Yeah, I think Monte Cristo's know how to make that. Yeah, they can. I think they can customize pizza. Yeah, and Monte Cristo's, the Arab people, they can send. Let's see, they can send them anchovy pizza. Yeah, I think they'd like that. Yeah, or falafel pizza. Yeah, falafel for the Arabs. And for the Irish people, potato pizza. And all the Irish people over there would be happy, you know, no more fighting, you know, give Ireland back to the Irish. I was just told by Henry in 1940 and 1960, hi Henry, that JFK was the one that put, I believe he put, I don't know, I have to get back to you on that, but JFK has something to do with Iraq. I tell you, I'm a wreck about Iraq. I'm a wreck about it. I think most people don't really care about the war. All they care about themselves and their families. Just like government. Government doesn't care about the people, man. All they care about is them families, associates, friends, and big business. For time and time again, that's been proven. I'm going to give you another example, and I've been giving you examples every day of the week now. And we're going to do it for 365 days a year. I'm going to give you another example where the government officials who take political campaign monies from big business vote in their favor and not the public health favor. For instance, the tobacco industry. If you want to smoke tobacco, fine, but at least I want the ingredients on the package. And there was a congressman that proposed the ingredients being put on cigarette packages. There's over 100 ingredients, and some of the ingredients are jet fuel, ammonia, carbon monoxide, cyanide. I'm going to get the list and I'm going to read it to you. But there's this congressman that proposed the bill, thought he was doing a good thing for his constituents. He proposed a bill that all tobacco products should have the ingredients posted on them. This is what he proposed. But you know what? Congress came back and said, and vetoed it and said, no, we shot it down. We don't want ingredients of tobacco on the packages. Again, they're protecting big business, the tobacco industry. And Bush could have went and vetoed that. Bush should have said, if he was any kind of a president, which we know he isn't, because he's against any bill that would protect public health. He's polluted the air more. He's allowing meat companies not to tell you where the poison beef comes from. He's allowing tobacco companies to put their poisonous ingredients in their products and not tell the public. Is this on, again, Congress, government, local, state, federal officials are protecting themselves, their families, associates, and big business, and could care less about the public. We need to have the ingredients of cigarettes on cigarette packages, and then maybe the young people wouldn't smoke it because they're not dopes. You make them dopes. You make them addicted to this dope. That's the scope of the whole thing, man. It's time that we bring this submarine of knowledge up to the surface and crack that thing open like a can opener, open up that can of worms. We need someone like myself as the President of the United States, and then we'll see the tobacco companies squirm. If I created a product that was deadly and killed 600,000 people in the United States alone, and 5 million people a year worldwide, not counting on all the millions of people that lose tongues, lungs, livers, hearts, eyeballs from this cancer-causing product. If I was elected President of the United States, I would make sure the ingredients were there. And not only that, What if I were to create a product like that today that killed all those people and maimed all those people? I couldn't get that past Food and Drug Administration, no way. Again, big institutions and organizations such as the Food and Drug Administration, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Organization are protecting themselves, their families, associates, and big business, and their campaign contributors themselves, and not the American public. Is this on? Boy, is it cold out here. I don't know if I can take it anymore. The story's old, older than the pyramids itself. If you're looking for the pot of gold over the rainbow, it ain't never gonna come, because a rainbow in reality isn't an arc, it's a circle. Those elves have a way, those leprechauns have a way of fooling you. The story is old. And I'm cold. It's got to be close to a 10 degree wind chill out here. Today, this April 1st. Yeah, April 1st. 2003, 21st century. That introduction by Wes James was done a couple of years ago. That was a whole show about fishing. Too cold. Want me to take a ride in the car? You want to go for a ride, kiddies? Where do you want to go, boys and girls? Disneyland? How about the Iraqi land? Why don't we go there? Yeah, well, we're already there. Yeah. But we could have sent in 200,000 weapons inspectors instead. Or we could have sent in 500,000 weapons inspectors instead. Or we could have sent in 650,000 military troops and bombed the crap out of them. Well, why not take those 650,000 military troops and turn them into weapons inspectors? We'd find the weapons real quick, yeah. But instead, bang, bang, boom, boom, lots of money made, military money, Bush happy, Bush oil, Bush royalty. Bush don't care about the public, he cares about himself. That's it, get it yet? Then you got these brainwashed people in America that say, well, you gotta stand behind the president, right or wrong. I don't think so. That's like standing behind your local government, like the selectmen. I don't think so. Higher tax, home taxes. I don't think so. In Plymouth, Massachusetts, all they have to do is create a town lottery where people pay $1 for a lottery ticket. Create a Plymouth Town lottery. That's all they have to do to raise money. They'd raise millions of dollars a month. Why should the state be privileged to make all that money with the lottery? They're taking away benefits from the local people. Well, we, as a selectman, if you write me in as selectman, I would create lottery tickets. And you know something? As a public citizen, we're getting down to the point where we have to start creating our own lotteries so that we can't play an illegal lottery, even if we have to pay the high cost of real estate taxes in this town, in Plymouth, Massachusetts, or any town in America. Romney has cut out mass health plan for people. So if these poor people that need health care, no more. Sorry, goodbye. He's making people pay more for their prescription drugs. So now people have to decide between a heart drug, between life and death. Is this on? Romney wants to cut the unions. Is this on? There's a war going on, all right, America, and it ain't in the Mideast, and it ain't in Iraq, and it ain't in the Mediterranean Sea. It's right here in Plymouth by the sea. Can't you see that we're being burned in the 3rd degree? And cold packs aren't gonna cut the mustard. We're sick and tired of the presidents and their multi-million-dollar ketchup queens. Did you see Teresa Hines, John Kerry's wife? Imagine, she can hardly speak English, for God's sakes. Imagine her as First Lady. Sheesh. Heinz ketchup, 57 varieties. Ooh. I bet you Monte Cristo's could have 57 varieties of pizza right here in Massachusetts. Good stuff. I want you to go down there and see Peter. He's a nice man. They got a nice restaurant pot. They redo the place every year. New carpets, new paint. They're a class act. They're a class restaurant. The bar side is one thing, but there's a restaurant family side, which is awesome. You need to go down there and get some pizza. It's the greatest pizza ever, anywhere. Ditto, Dano. I'm proud to be an American. At least that we are free. Even though the president, we don't agree.
He's gonna do what he wants. We'll be right back. Barry's dying. Go get yourself a sandwich. Go get yourself Monte Cristo's pizza. Yeah, baby.
For you people that missed it, yeah, Abraham Lincoln's like Hitler. That's what the Southerners said in West Virginia when they wanted to erect a statue of Lincoln. They said that Lincoln was like Hitler to the Southerners, and you may as well build a statue of Hitler in Israel. This is what the Southerners said. But it's those same Southerners that I guess believe Bush's lie that we're in Iraq to free the Iraqi people, because the Southerners, who could care less about the black people in America, you really think they care about the Arab people in Iraq? Give me a break. It's all a big joke. Go jump in the lake, mate. Well, you know what Hannibal said when he saw the elephants coming over the mountains? You know what Hannibal said when he saw the elephants coming over the mountains? He says, here comes the elephants over the mountain. I pledge allegiance to a fascist government, one nation, under one God. That's odd. I thought there were many religions in America. And to the republic, for which it doesn't understand, with liberty, injustice, and high taxes for all. People say who are for the war and stuff, people say this about people like me who want peace, who believe that this is all a big sham, and it is, because I've been to the promised land. I fasted on water for 14 days one time. I know the reason and the rhyme, and it's a crime. And Bush and past American governments should all be tried for war crimes. People say, if you don't like America, leave. Why should someone who believes in freedom of speech, believes that there's injustices in the judicial system, which has been proven over and over again, who believe that there's corruption in government, who knows that the politicians are out for themselves, their families, associates, and big business, a person who believes that the institutions and organizations like the State Health Department, the United States Department of Agriculture, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, these institutions and organizations and the rest of them are out for themselves, their families, associates, big business, and campaign lobbyist people. Why should I leave when they're the bad people? You people are brainwashed out there. They've taken your brain, they not only brainwashed it, they tumble dried it, they folded, mutilated it, and voided it. We're prohibited by law. Don't pull that tag off. You're gonna go to jail. Say something about the red alert. You know, there's different forms of alert. There's orange alert, blue alert, green alert, yellow alert, and red alert. If the United States government has been talking about how in Iraq that when people are driving their cars and stuff, they're shot by the Iraqi military. Well, in America, if there's a red alert and you get in your car and you don't stop for the military, guess what? You're going to be shot too. And guess what? If you're trying to flee a bomb-ridden area in America, say one day it might be, and you get in your car and there's a red alert and you're trying to take your family out of the war zone and you don't stop for the American military, guess what? They're going to shoot you too. You think you're any different? I'm telling you, they're fascists. The government may as well be Hitler and we the Jew. People say, oh, that's a racist remark, Mark. You're not listening, are you? Where is your head? It's dead. You've been fed too much stale political propaganda bread. All moldy with mealy-mouthed, gerrymandering, politicking propaganda. And Andy Rooney and Dan Rather Not are all following the same path. When we finally got a stronghold of freedom of speech at last, out pops Bush out of the jack-in-the-box to lock up the truth again in Pandora's box. Today is April 1st, 2003, this 21st century. And this is City Lights and City Streets, and I know you'll never forget me. I do it with glee. I'll do it my last breath. I'll do it to the death. I do it best when surrounded by the enemy. Give me freedom or give me death. Give me a Sandy's hot dog, at best. There you go, Sandy. Here comes some town workers. There they go. What are they doing? Something or other. There they go, doing their job. Like who knows what it is, but they're doing it. You know, you got to hand it to the town workers. They got a bad rap. You know, in Plymouth, Massachusetts, they drug the town. They drug test the town workers. Okay, so you got this guy with a shovel, see, and he's coming to the beach, see, and he's a town worker, see, and he's shoveling up the dirt, and he's doing a good job and picking up the littering, can't you see? And then they want to drug test that boy who works near the sea. That makes a lot of sense, huh? Drug test the town workers. Jeez. I say we should drug test Bush. That lush. And Rushforth. That lush. The selectmen need to be drug tested. I swear they got to be drunk on gin. We have to be drunk on gin to vote those duffers in. I told you before, Nixon got drunk every day. Every president from George Washington to George Bush were alcoholics. And an alcoholic, you have bad judgment, illogic, and do we want someone with bad judgment running the world? And Tony Blair, he's a great one. We're on tomorrow, Wednesday, April 2nd, 8 p.m. And this show repeats tomorrow at 12 noon. April 2nd, 12 noon. This show repeats 12 noon. That gives me time to get in a cocoon so I can do my next show and be transformed into a beautiful loon. So I can give you a new tune.
Oh, to be an American, at least I know I'm free to pay the override taxes that they burden with me.
Take that $500 billion a year that we spend on the war and spend it for better education, better water systems. If I was President of the United States, American candidate, write me in, Mark Lord. I'd create a monorail system, a state-of-the-art public transportation system, and I would build it over existing highways, monorails throughout this nation, so that workers can go from station to station and move up the social ladder. Instead of having a caste order where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If taxpayers' money was invested properly, you would never have to pay taxes ever again. Hell, big corporations don't. Hey, when it comes to capitalism anyway, there is no enemy. General Motors traded with Hitler Germany during World War II to make slave labor parts for their automobiles. During World War II, IBM Corporation sold Hitlerian Germany accounting machines to count the people he killed. So when it comes to capitalism and making a buck, man, there is no enemy. That's the whole idea of the war in Iraq. The military bomb makers, Lockheed Martin, and all the other ones are making billions of dollars. And they say, oh, the economy's rising, the stock market's up. That's because bomb making is up. Is this on? And how many people, how many veterans, American veterans, are going to be denied medical rights, medical benefits when they come back from the Iraqi war because they were exposed to our own impregnated, uranium impregnated ammunition and armaments, and when they come home with cancers, and when they come home with debilitating paralysis, end up in wheelchairs, when they come home and have babies with no arms and babies born with no skull caps because of the depleted uranium ammunition that they are using, and then the government can deny them their medical benefits for 25 years, and then when they're dead, what difference does it make then? I said. It's all a big joke, folks. Wars have always been a big joke. Wars have always been about money, greed, royalty, world leaders, and Göring said it best, Hitler's henchman. He said it best when he says, you can make anybody in your country believe in war. All you have to do is denounce the pacifists as anti-patriotic and tell the people we're being attacked, and then they'll all jump on that war wagon track. I say get on the peace train. I said instead of putting the 650,000 troops into Iraq, take those 650,000 troops, train them to be weapons inspectors, and sweep the land in Iraq. Then we can find the weapons of mass destruction and get rid of them. Disarm them that way. But instead we send in 10, 50 UN inspectors to comb the whole countryside. We should have sent in 650,000 inspectors. That's the way you do it without war and collateral damage. Now you're creating more terrorists because the peasant Iraqi, who was a peace-loving person to begin with, when you kill his family, they're going to grow up to be terrorists, and it's going to complete the cycle. Silly, silly. George Bush, you dilly. I'm sure they believe that in Philly, too. And you know the Liberty Bell, if there wasn't a crack in the Liberty Bell, who would go see it? Nobody. But since there's a crack in it, people go see it. And that symbolizes the crack in our democracy, because we are not welded. We are not ringing the bell of freedom anymore. We're trying to destroy the bell of freedom. write my shows straight out. I used to write them down on paper, you know, 10,000 words a show. And then I said, now I go 7 days a week and I write on air. And I don't despair. I know you don't care. But I dare to say what you think. And I think we are all on the brink of this rotten fish of war, and it stinks. If we didn't have dinks in the White House, then maybe we could get that chain link going, that freedom of speech. Erase all borders. At least keep an open mind. And this is Mark, and we're on 7 days a week. We're on Monday at 8 o'clock, Tuesday at 8 o'clock, Wednesday at 8 o'clock, Thursday at 10 p.m., Friday at 10 p.m., Saturday at 6 p.m., Sunday at 6 p.m., and every show is a new show. Wednesday show, tomorrow's show, April 2nd, there's a combination of past shows. So when it's a different show, it's about the lemmings, and you want to see that again, that's a good show. And that's American Candidate show too. I'm running for President of the United States. If you want to come on the show, write me at P.O. Box 1503, Manamet, Massachusetts, 02345. I'm glad to have you on. If you have a problem with local, state, or federal government, call me, write me. Well, don't call me. I don't have a phone. I disconnected my phone. They're tapped anyway. So are your emails. I don't send emails anymore either. I'll be right back. I think we got Sandy here. Is this Sandy? Sandy's back in line. We got Sandy here. It's kind of cold. Today's April 1st. And here's Sandy. And we're going to talk to Sandy. Let's see if we can get a hot dog out of her. Yeah. see if we can get a hot dog. Hi, Sandy. Want us to come on real quick if you're on tonight at 8 o'clock? Just say hi. Okay. Just stand right there.
No, I don't care. I just came from a walk.
How about we just shoot your face then? Get over here and we'll just shoot your face. Come on. I won't show your body. Go ahead. This is Sandy. She just came from a walk.
What is this horrible mess?
No, go ahead, Sandy. I know. Just stand. Just get your head, see? Come on now, dear. This is April 1st, and Sandy's here. This is how dedicated she is. That's good right there. That's good right there. We just got your head, okay? Hold on now. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Mark.
How are you? Don't move.
Oh, April's a horrible month.
Don't move. We just got you from here up.
All right.
So that means I can go over.
Good. All right.
Hi, Sandy. How are you? Nice to see you. I've been out here for close to an hour talking. We talked about your place. So how was the vacation?
Vacations were wonderful.
Wonderful.
They're over now.
They're over now. So now
There's
it's
one more left.
April 1st. Now you're going to go fix up, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get some gloves and get some washing.
Yeah.
I do some paper too because there's graffiti.
Yeah, that's not nice how they do that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, you know, young people, they're mixed up. But if they have programs for kids
I know.
to graffiti things, that'd be a good thing. So you got to watch it on
If it was
tonight.
good artwork, I wouldn't mind it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, you come here and
Not the kind of art I was really interested in.
yeah, there'll be pictures of flipper everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, the last time I was here was March 1st. It was a good turnout, too.
It's a good turnout. We were at the what's it called? At the Lemmings there, yeah. That's on Wednesday night. I replayed that. So
This Wednesday?
Yeah, tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Oh, good, because I didn't get to see that. I
You'll
was wondering
see
what
that.
happened. Oh, good.
So you'll see that.
Good, I'll
All right,
watch.
thanks, Sandy.
Okay, now.
Sandy.
Have a good
Bye. So this is on tonight, tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm on 7 days a week now. Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 8 p.m., Wednesday at 8 p.m. Monday now. That was Sandy. I think she got mad at me. Anyway, I just want to say one more thing about Plymouth Beach. See, one more thing about Plymouth Beach is that, again, you got these officials that are just for themselves, their families, associates, and big business. For instance, Rushforth, he's a doctor and he should know better, that when dogs defecate on the beach, that is a deadly substance, and if children happen to ingest it by accident, they can get deadly liver disease and die. That's what happened in New York City 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Kids would get ingesting by accident dog feces, and some of the kids died. And the lady that started the Poop and Scooper law, because of that reason, because dog waste is harmful to your health, and Rushforth, he's a doctor and he should know better, and they vote on letting dogs run on the beach and crap on the beach. You see how it is, folks? They don't care about you and your family. All they care about is their dog. Their families, associates, and big businesses can care less about you. And on that note, I'm going to leave that one right there, and we'll be right back. Bye.
The whole show could have been out of focus, huh?
Bye.
Coming up next on PAC TV Close-Up, we're at Memorial Hall where local musicians battle it out for local supremacy. The oldest park in Major League Baseball plays host to some of our friends from Cape Cod.
So the players tonight are going to be announced before the game. Do you think that's a big thrill for them?
Oh yeah, they'll love it. I mean, we never got to come here when I was in the Cape Cod League, though. That's messed up.
And we'll recap last year's Trinkets and Treasures as a preview for this year.
The response was excellent then. Tonight seems to be starting out a little bit faster. So we're really hopeful that there'll be more people here this year.
For Thursday, July 24th, I'm Chrissy Kinch, and you're watching PAC TV Close-Up. Welcome to the 118th edition of PAC TV Close-Up. Local music comes alive at Memorial Hall, and coming up after the break, we'll have full coverage of the second Battle of the Bands. Please stay tuned. You're watching PAC TV Close Up.
Go for the mouthful, go for the fun. Go for cakes for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes, and it's go for cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty box every night. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately.
Till you explode.
Konnichiwa! I am the Great Riki.
I'm Dan Ginnity.
And we'd like you to join us every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night at 8 p.m. and Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m.
for Tokan Wrestling in the world of Japanese professional wrestling. 2 hours of great action coming your way.
Right here on PAC TV Channel 13.
Welcome back to PAC TV Close Up. Back in June, Memorial Hall hosted its first ever Battle of the Bands extravaganza. Because of the overwhelming response, they had to schedule the battle over 2 shows. Last weekend was the second event, and here's a look at those contests coming from the judges' points of view. 11 bands from Boston, Cape Cod, and the South Shore played one song in a maximum of 5 minutes to a dedicated crowd last Saturday night at Memorial Hall. Jeff Souza of Halifax Music was the first judge we got the chance to speak to.
I teach trumpet, guitar, and bass. I've been teaching literally since I've been 13 years old. I started teaching trumpets to younger kids, and then I continued on with guitar. Guitar was my first instrument, later picked up the bass, and I've been teaching roughly about 7 years, guitar and bass. I'm expecting a good show, I hope. I'm looking for, essentially what I'm looking for is stage presence, how the groove is between everyone, between the 3, 4, 5 members of the band, how well they jive together, how well they fit together, what the connection is, if the bass and the drummer are good, tight, is the lead guitarist on his ball, all that stuff, essentially, and I'm looking for how they react to the crowd, the stage presence on them. Are they just up there standing still, just nodding back and forth, or are they really getting into the music that they play?
Ryan Wood writes for MPG newspapers and has a column about music that appears from time to time.
I've actually had a music column with the newspaper called Sound Off for the past 2 years. Before that, I wrote music reviews and CD reviews for a campus newspaper down at UMass Dartmouth for about 4 or 5 years. I've actually seen a lot of local bands. I used to come when I was in high school and college. I used to come to Memorial Hall and see all the local shows that were put on by Peter Briette. So I've seen a lot of local bands in my time.
So as you can tell, Ryan's heard a lot of bands over the years, from the mainstream top 40 to bands of all ages on the local scene. He explains the main difference between those two and what to expect if you're walking into one of these shows.
Some of these bands here are just starting out. Some of the bands that I say, just for example, I saw Pearl Jam last week. They've been around since '92 and I have a little more experience. But, Pearl Jam, any other big band like that, they got their start where these kids are going to start, which is on the local scene, and which is so important to develop yourself as a musician around here.
As we said earlier, each band is allowed a maximum of 5 minutes to leave an impression on the crowd and the judges. Ryan says that they have that time to show the judges what they're really made of.
Well, I was one of the judges last time in June when they had the Battle of the Bands, and what we're really looking for is just how the band presents himself on stage. Anyone can get up there and play an instrument, but they have to have that certain something, and timing is the most important thing up there. If the band is playing together as a whole and everything seems to click and they're really interacting with the audience, that's sort of what we're looking for. It's really tough. At first, I think it was supposed to be 3 songs, which would have been perfect, and it's really hard to judge a band in 7 minutes. And last time, a lot of the bands just pretty much played 1 3-minute song, and it's hard to judge. But the winner and the second place choice that we had, you could tell right away from the first note that these kids had something special.
Ryan was one of the judges at the show in June and was eager for the second show to come around.
Actually, I'm looking forward to it. As soon as we get done judging the last show, I asked Jan from PR Work if I could do it again. I had so much fun, so I'm really looking forward to see what these kids have to offer tonight.
Ian Hughes reviews music for Plymouth's other newspaper, The Rock. At this event, he wears two hats as a judge and MC and tells us what the hardest part of picking the winner is.
The hardest thing about it is they're all good musicians, and picking the one who's better than the rest of them, because they all worked really hard to get a band together and write the music. And to be up on stage, especially in such a big venue like Memorial Hall, it's quite a rush for all of them, and I think they've all done a great job just to be here tonight.
Because of the number of acts entered into the show, each band is limited in their time on stage. Ian says it is tough, but the band should relax and do what they love to do, play music.
With one song, it's tough. I mean, you can't really get a great feel for the band. You need to kind of just look past that, know that they're only going to have one chance, and hope everybody realizes that if they make a mistake or two, it's not the end of the world.
June's winner, the Wombats, had something Ian says he had never seen before in contests like this.
The Wombats, they were kind of a reggae rock band with a horn section, and the stuff they had written was very dynamic. It had something that stood out. They're very talented musicians. The songs they wrote were very catchy and a little bit different, but not too far out. And I expect to hear a lot of great bands like I did last time, and I hope they all have a great time, because it's so nice to see all the high school kids up here get a chance to show everybody at least a little part of what they've been doing outside of school. I think it's great that the Radisson is encouraging the bands to come up here and help out the local music scene.
At the end of the night, the first place winner of a $300 cash prize was the band 86 from Falmouth. The second place winner, taking home a $100 cash prize, was ABI of Medfield. As of now, no more Battle of the Bands are scheduled, but the people at Memorial Hall seem to be open to the possibility at any time. Memorial Hall is getting ready to open up for their fall season, and just like earlier this year, they have many national acts ready to perform in America's hometown. For more information on the schedule or anything that goes on at the hall, log on to their website at PlymouthMemorialHall.com. Coming up after the break,
I have no idea what I'm going to see, and I'm expecting the whole variety of items. I'm hoping to see some very interesting pieces that I've never seen before.
we'll revisit trinkets and treasures from the Plymouth Public Library. Please stay tuned. You're watching TAC TV Close Up.
Excuse me, ma'am. May we help you cross?
Well, that would be lovely, boy.
Scouting, where character counts.
Oh, I think I forgot my purse up there.
Do you know who I am? Am I a P or a D? A Q, perhaps? Or a B? I am dyslexia, and millions of kids struggle with me every time they read. Call now to help your child manage his learning disability. There's no reason to be held back.
Welcome back to TAC TV Close Up. Coming up next week, the Plymouth Public Library welcomes back a night called Trinkets and Treasures. To get you ready for the library's big night, Julie Carcady recaps last year's very successful event.
As you have heard, Trinkets and Treasures is making its way back to the Plymouth Public Library next week. This is an event that was first done in 2000 and then repeated last year. Mariana Mele was excited for its return last year.
Trinkets or Treasures is the library's version of the Antique Roadshow, and this is where people can come in and bring their items to be appraised. The first thing you would do is register, and after you register, you simply come on into the Phalo room and get in line to go to the certain appraiser with their specialties. If you had books, you would go to Kenneth Gloss. He's from the Brattle Bookshop. We have 6 other appraisers as well as he, and they are Josh Eldred from Eldred's Auction House. We have David Firestone from Firestone and Parsons in Boston. We have Preston Seabury from Main Street Antiques. Richard Cohn from Old North Street and Curiosity Shop in Plymouth here. And Sue Giffen from Sandwich Auction House. Bruce Emmon from Village Raider Antiques. They all have specialties, but they're also generalists, so they would be able to appraise anything that you bring in. We did this 2 years ago, and really is backed by popular demand. People were asking when we're going to do it again. It's a lot of fun.
Throughout the night, there is a silent auction held in the main lobby. The money raised goes straight to the library.
It goes all to the library for library programming, children and adults. It was terrific. The first hour was packed. We couldn't keep the people away, which was a good thing. So this year, what we decided to do is also have a silent auction with it. So in the Phaler room here will be the appraisers, whereas in the lobby is going to be all silent auction items, donated gifts from Plymouth retailers. And also we have 70 items in the silent auction, and they are all from Plymouth businesses who have donated too. So without them as well, we would not be able to have this event.
For the future, Mariana says that as long as the public supports it, Trinkets and Treasures is here to stay and might even become a yearly tradition.
Well, I'll make sure it comes back, but also you can give me a call to remind me. We should be having this once a year. I think we should. I think it's profitable and people have a good time. The library closes at 6 and the show begins at 6. So it will be a little hustle bustle in the beginning, but that will be fun.
As we all know, there are many events that happen at the library, and that would not be possible without the help of many dedicated volunteers and sponsors.
I do want to mention the sponsors that helped us out with this, and it would not be possible without them. They are A.G. Edwards, Allied Insurance, Borders Bookstore, Jeffrey's Restaurant, Plymouth Antique Trading, and the Independence Mall. I need to thank all of them because it would not be possible without them.
We caught up with Richard Cohn, who was on hand for last year's event. He was one of the appraisers that night and told us exactly what his role was for the evening.
Oh, I think an appraiser is someone who uses their experience and knowledge from the years of looking at antiques and learning about them and studying them, and hopefully that you can look at the piece that the person's showing you and give it a historical element and some value to it as to what it's worth in today's market.
After hearing what Richard's specialty is, I guess you could call him the jack of all trades of appraising.
Well, in my shop we do specialize in transferware and English bone china, old teapots. We have a lot of old pewter, a little bit of everything.
He had no expectations for the night, but he was excited to see the many antiques and heirlooms coming his way.
I have no idea what I'm going to see tonight. I'm expecting the whole variety of items. I'm hoping to see some very interesting pieces that I've never seen before. This is the first time I've done the library show. I'm looking forward to it. It should be very exciting.
And in general, if you missed last year's Trinkets and Treasures, and you know you'll miss this year's event as well, Richard says that there are many ways to find appraisers right in your own neighborhood.
I think they can do that through my shop and a few other people in town who have quite a bit of experience. As you know, there are quite a few antique shops in Plymouth and with a great knowledge of things. So, yeah, they can bring it to my shop, or they can bring it to somebody else.
Dinah O'Brien is the director of the library. Before the event, she stood outside registering people as they walked in the door.
My role is to be a greeter when people walk into the Trinkets and Treasures program, the silent auction here at the library. And we're registering people who come. We're giving them a program that lists the silent auction items and taking down how many items they're going to have to be appraised and then sending them on to the library. The response was excellent then. Tonight seems to be starting out a little bit faster. So we're really hopeful that there'll be more people here this year. And as a repeat event, it's good. It's very exciting. The library staff loves to put it together. The community enjoys it, and it's just a lot of fun.
Backed by